Sometimes you want to speak, but you feel a little scared or shy. You can learn how to feel stronger inside, and then speaking gets easier. Hi, my name is Michael, and I'm really happy you are here with me. Today I want to share a story about how you can improve your confidence. Imagine this: you wake up in the morning and you feel a little nervous about your day. Maybe you have a test at school or a meeting at work and your stomach feels tight. You look in the mirror and think, "Can I do this?" It's a small moment, but it happens to almost everyone, and it can make your day feel harder. But honestly, the thing is, confidence can start with something simple. Jake is getting ready for his first day at a new job. He puts on his favorite blue shirt and he takes a deep breath before leaving his house. The street is busy and he feels a little scared. He walks slowly at first, but then he remembers his friend Sarah's advice. She always says, "Just smile and look people in the eyes. It helps you feel stronger." So Jake tries it. He smiles at the bus driver and says good morning. The bus driver smiles back, and Jake feels a little better. That's when he gets to work. He says hello to his new team. His voice is quiet, but he does it, and that small step gives him more confidence for the rest of the day. Later that morning, Jake sits at his desk and starts his work. He sees Sarah, one of his coworkers, looking for something on her computer. Jake remembers what his friend told him about speaking up. So one day, he asks Sarah if she needs any help, his voice still a little soft. She smiles and says yes, and together they find the file she needs. After helping Sarah, Jake feels a small spark of happiness. It is not a big thing, but it matters to him. He thinks maybe he can do more things like this. That's when it is time for lunch. He decides to sit with the team in the break room. Before, he always ate alone, but today he wants to try something different. The lunch table is a little noisy, and Jake feels nervous at first. He listens to the others and then shares a story about his weekend. It is a simple story about walking in the park, but everyone listens and laughs at the funny part. For a moment, Jake feels like he belongs, and his confidence grows a bit more. After lunch, Jake walks to his next class with Sarah. She smiles and tells him she liked his story, which makes him feel proud. They talk about their favorite places to walk, and Jake feels it is easy to chat with her. For the first time today, he is not worried about saying something wrong. It feels good to have a real conversation. During class, the teacher asks a question about the lesson. Jake thinks he knows the answer, but he is not sure. He waits for a second, then slowly raises his hand. The teacher calls on him, and Jake shares his answer. That's when the teacher says he is correct. Jake feels a small wave of happiness. After class, Jake walks outside and takes a deep breath. He remembers how nervous he felt in the morning, but now things are different. He talked with new friends, shared his ideas, and even answered a question in class. Each small step helps him feel stronger, and he starts to believe that confidence is something he can build, one day at a time. As Jake walks to the bus stop, he sees Emma sitting on a bench looking at her phone. He thinks about just walking by, but then he remembers how good it felt to talk with people earlier. So one day, he decides to sit next to her and say hello. At first, Emma looks a little surprised, but then she smiles and starts a conversation. That small choice makes Jake feel proud because he did something new. The bus arrives and they get on together, still talking about their day. Jake listens to Emma's story about her math test, and he shares his own story about speaking in class. They both laugh when Jake tells her how he almost forgot his answer, but then remembered just in time. It feels nice to share these moments with someone, and the ride goes by quickly. By the time Jake gets home, he feels different than he did in the morning. He isn't thinking about mistakes or things he didn't do. Instead, he remembers the good parts, like making a new friend and trying something brave. He realizes that confidence grows with each small step, and tomorrow he wants to try again. The next morning, Jake wakes up early and feels a little excited. He remembers yesterday and smiles because he did something new. He eats his breakfast quickly, then picks out his favorite blue shirt. It's a small thing, but it helps him feel ready for the day. He looks in the mirror and gives himself a quiet cheer. At school, Jake sees Emma in the hallway, and she waves at him. This time, he doesn't feel nervous. He walks over and says hello. They talk about their favorite games, and Jake laughs more than he did before. There's a moment when he wants to join a group playing basketball, but he isn't sure if he can. Still, he remembers how good it felt to try something yesterday, so he takes a deep breath and steps closer. The group welcomes Jake, and soon he is running and playing with everyone. He misses a shot, but nobody seems to care. They just keep playing and having fun. Jake feels proud because he didn't let fear stop him. And then here's the interesting part. Each small moment makes him feel a little stronger inside. After the game, Jake sits on the grass with Emma and Sam. They talk about the match, and Emma says she liked Jake's energy on the field. Sam laughs and tells a funny story about falling during a game last week. Jake smiles because he sees that everyone makes mistakes sometimes, but it doesn't matter as much as he thought. Later, the group decides to go for ice cream together. Jake walks with them, feeling relaxed and happy. He is not worried about what people think, because he knows he tried his best. The sun is warm, and the air feels fresh, so everything seems a little brighter. As they eat their ice cream, Jake laughs at another joke from Sam, and he feels a strong sense of belonging. He remembers how nervous he was before, but now it feels so far away. Honestly, he is surprised by how much one small choice joining the game can change his whole day. Later, Jake and Sam walk slowly down the street, still talking about the game. The sun is shining, and the city feels friendly and alive. Jake looks around and thinks, this is the kind of day he wants more often. He feels proud because he did something new, and it went well. That nervous feeling from before is almost gone now. As they pass a small park, Sam points to a group of people playing basketball. He asks Jake if he wants to watch for a minute. Jake nods, and they sit on a bench together, enjoying the moment. It's relaxing to just sit and watch others play, and Jake feels calm. He realizes that trying new things is not always scary, sometimes it can be fun. On the way home, Jake thinks about what happened. He knows he will still feel nervous sometimes, but he also knows he can handle it. The next time he feels unsure, he will remember this day. It's a small win, but it gives him hope for the future. A few days later, Jake gets a message from his friend Sam. Sam invites him to a small party on Saturday night. At first, Jake feels those old nerves again, and his hands start to feel a little cold. But honestly then, he remembers how he spoke up in class, and he feels a bit stronger. He decides to say yes to Sam's invitation. Saturday comes, and Jake stands in front of the mirror, trying to choose what to wear. He laughs a little because he is taking so long, but he wants to feel comfortable. He picks his favorite blue shirt, the one that makes him feel good. Then he takes a deep breath, grabs his keys, and leaves the house. The air feels cool on his face as he walks to Sam's place. When Jake arrives, there are already a few people talking and laughing in the living room. He feels shy for a second, but Sam waves him over with a big smile. Jake joins the group, and soon he is listening to a funny story. He is not the loudest person in the room, but he feels happy just being there, and that is enough for now. As the evening goes on, Jake starts to feel more comfortable. Someone asks him about his favorite movie, and he answers with a small laugh. People listen, and a few of them even agree with his choice, which makes him smile. For a moment, Jake forgets about feeling nervous. He just enjoys talking and sharing with the group. Later, the group decides to play a simple game, and everyone sits in a circle. Jake is a little nervous again, but Sam gives him a friendly look, so he decides to join in. The game is easy, and everyone takes turns saying something about themselves. That's when it is Jake's turn. He says he likes to cook, and a few people ask him what his favorite meal is. He feels proud to talk about his cooking, and the group listens with interest. And here's the interesting part. Someone suggests having a cooking night soon, and they ask Jake if he can show them how to make his favorite dish. His heart beats a bit faster, but he says yes, feeling excited and a little surprised. This small moment makes Jake feel more confident, and he realizes he can be part of the group in his own way. The next day, Jake starts thinking about what dish he wants to make for everyone. He remembers his mom's famous spaghetti, and he smiles because this dish always makes him feel happy. He writes down the ingredients, and then he goes to the store after work to buy everything he needs. It feels good to plan something special for his friends. He even calls his mom to ask for a little advice, just to make sure it will taste great. When cooking night arrives, Jake feels a bit nervous, but he also feels ready. His friends come to his apartment, bringing drinks and snacks, and they laugh together in the kitchen. Jake shows them how to cook the pasta and make the sauce, explaining each step. One friend, Sarah, asks if she can help stir the pot, and Jake smiles, feeling more relaxed. The kitchen smells amazing, and everyone is excited to eat. As they sit down to eat, someone says, "Jake, this is delicious." Jake feels a warm feeling in his chest, and he can't stop smiling. For the first time in a while, he feels proud and comfortable with his friends. He thinks maybe confidence is just about trying something new, even when it feels a little scary. After dinner, Sarah asks Jake if he can show her how to make the salad. Jake laughs and nods, feeling a little surprised, but happy too. He stands up and starts to explain the simple steps, showing Sarah how to cut the tomatoes and mix the dressing. His hands shake a little at first, but then he feels calm because his friends are listening closely. For a moment, he forgets about being nervous. Tom joins them in the kitchen, holding a bowl, and says, "Next time, I want to help too." Jake smiles and says, "Of course, it's actually pretty easy." The group gathers around, and they all start talking about their favorite foods and cooking stories. The room feels full of laughter and energy, and Jake feels like he really belongs. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference. Later that night, when Jake walks home, he thinks about everything that happened. He remembers how worried he was before dinner, and now he feels so much better. He realizes that trying new things can help you grow, even if you are afraid at first. And then, here's the interesting part. He starts to look forward to the next dinner with his friends, instead of feeling nervous. The next morning, Jake wakes up with a smile. The sun is shining, and he feels different, like he can do more things today. He decides to make his own breakfast, even though he usually just grabs a quick snack. He cooks some eggs and toasts bread, and he feels proud when he finishes. It's a small thing, but it makes him feel good. Later, Jake goes to the park to meet his friend Sam. They sit on a bench and talk about school and weekend plans. Jake tells Sam about the dinner and how he felt nervous at first. Sam listens and says he understands because he also feels nervous sometimes. Hearing this makes Jake feel less alone, and he feels even more confident. As they walk around the park, Jake starts to notice other people. He sees a girl learning to ride a bike and a boy practicing basketball. Everyone is trying something, and sometimes they make mistakes, but they keep going. Jake thinks, maybe everyone is a little scared when they start something new, but that's okay. You did great listening today, and every small step helps your confidence grow. Just remember, you can always try again, so keep going.